Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina and today I'm doing a tag video. Now today's tag video is actually really special because my friend Monica made this tag. She sent me a message the other night saying that she was posting hers today and I figured I'm gonna film mine today too because my other video just didn't work out. It was a mess. So today we're gonna be doing this tag video that Monica created and basically I am tagging all of my YouTube friends. I will have some of you guys down in the description below, but I am tagging all of my YouTube friends to do this because this is a YouTube tag. So Monica is calling this the part-time YouTuber tag and she tagged me in it and me and her have become really good friends over the last I think year or year and a half. It's been a while now and I'm really excited to do this. So before I jump into her tag, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. I do upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I try to shoot for 2 p.m. Pacific Standard, but sometimes it is a little late, so definitely make sure to hit the bell notification. And now, without further ado, let's just get into these questions. Also, without further ado, let me grab some more caffeine because 4 cups of coffee just isn't enough. So, question number 1. What is your main gig? Do you work full-time? Are you a student and parent? Spill the beans. So I am technically a part-time YouTuber because I only post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I don't do a lot of production value on my videos, so on average if you're looking at like the weekly base of hours I put into YouTube, it's definitely a part-time thing, but currently I don't have a full-time job. So a lot of you guys know I am a military spouse. The military makes it really difficult to hold on to a career, so I haven't had a full-fledged career job in almost 4 years now. Because when me and my husband lived in North Carolina, I was a part-time barista. I did YouTube on the side. Now, when we first moved to California, I did transcription on the side and YouTube. But now I'm basically just focusing on YouTube and I've also started doing Twitch. So a lot of you guys follow me on Twitch. You hang out with me in live streams. That's the other thing I do. So in total, between Twitch and YouTube, I'm working full-time. I put in a lot of hours on Twitch. But between those two things, I'm working about 40 to 50 hours a week on these two things. On YouTube alone, I'm probably putting in about 25 to 30 hours just on YouTube, and that's including brainstorming, setting up, editing, filming, practicing for looks. I kind of consider all of that to be work. And yeah, so I put in about 25 to 30 hours a week. Now, obviously this wasn't what my initial thing was going to be. I have had jobs in the past. I have had career type jobs in the past, but life changes and currently right now I am just kind of focusing on YouTube and Twitch. And I know that's probably really weird to some people, but I mean, define a job and define a career. I've had some really weird questions about it in my own personal life. So I know for a lot of people it's really confusing, but yeah, this is pretty much what I do right now and I really enjoy it. I'm having a good time. I am learning a lot. And yeah, so I guess you could say I'm a stay-at-home dog mom who does YouTube and Twitch on the side. Question number 2. What made you want to start YouTube? So this is a very long answer. Do you guys want the history-filled answer or the short answer? I'm thinking you might want the long answer. You probably don't want the long answer, but I'm gonna give you the long answer. Let's backtrack. Let's go way back. Let's go back to 2008. Ah, good times. So in 2008, I was a freshman in college. That's basically when I really remember YouTube being a thing. I think YouTube existed, in 2006, 2007, but 2008 was when I really remember it, hitting mainstream. Everyone watched YouTube. I remember in the dorm I lived in freshman year, everyone on the hall had their doors open. We would go into each other's rooms and be like, did you see this YouTube video? It's so funny. That's when, the really funny, short videos were on YouTube. The OGs, man, it was good times. Chocolate Rain was on, you know? Chocolate Rain. Those kind of videos were what was existing at the time. And I specifically remember Michelle Phan being the first beauty YouTuber I ever watched. I've talked about this before. She's my OG. She's what got me into makeup. She is how I learned how to do basically everything in college. That's when I really started experimenting because I've told you guys before, in high school, middle school, all that, my mom really didn't want me to wear makeup, so I didn't know anything. So that's basically what happened. And I remember looking up to Michelle Phan so much and just wanting to be like her. I just wanted to create and teach people or interact with people who are like-minded or into the same things as me. And she just had a really nice personality, very zen, and I was like, you know what, I want to do this. I want to make YouTube videos. So of course 2008, that's when that happens. Fast forward a lot of years and it was 2015 was when I finally posted a video. So it took me forever. It took me years to finally build up the courage to even fathom doing a YouTube video. So before I started doing YouTube, I was actually posting on Instagram. If you guys are real OGs, then you know way back in the day I was posting eye looks on IG. I was posting like lip looks a thing. I was posting makeup pictures in 2014, I think is when I started those, and that's when I was like, okay, the social media thing I enjoy being able to be creative, think of new ways of doing things, and all of that. And that was kind of the catalyst to kind of start the ball rolling on me being like, okay, I think I could do YouTube. I think it seems really simple at first to make a YouTube video, but it really is like we're putting ourselves out there. We're putting ourselves in front of what can be a lot of hate or just rude comments. We also, you know, we're very plainly being judged, and I'm not someone, even though it seems like it, I'm not someone who has a ton of self-esteem. I have very low points. I get very hard on myself, and so, especially back then, so it was a lot for me. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. It just seems really intense, but at the same time, there's so much creative freedom. It seems so fun, and I love being able to express myself. So I was like, you know what? I'll think about it. And then the real catalyst, and actually me and Michael were talking about this because he asked me, he was like, what was the real catalyst? Because he was like, I know you wanted to do YouTube for a long time, but what was the real catalyst that like pushed you over the edge? We had this long conversation, me and my husband had this long conversation about defining moments in your life. And I was like, it really sucks, but a lot of my defining moments are like bad moments because something about when bad things happen to me, I turn into a completely different person. I turn into I need to prove you wrong. I'm a Leo, so that's probably why. The fire raises up inside me and it takes over. So in October of 2015, I was in a different relationship. This was right before I met my husband. I met my husband about 8 months later. But in October of 2015, I was in a different relationship. I had just moved to be closer to him, and I was doing an entire job search. I got a new, like, more expensive apartment, and I moved away from my friends. But I basically moved to be closer to him, and, you know, there was more opportunity in Charlotte is how I looked at it, which there was. So, I mean, it wasn't all bad. But I moved to be closer, and 2 days after moving, I found out that he had cheated on me. So I think I've told this story in a past video before, very briefly. I've never really gotten into it because I don't like talking about it. But that was the catalyst. I know that sounds really stupid. You're like, wait, what? Some dude cheated on you, you're like, I'm gonna make YouTube videos. And that wasn't so much it. It was just that relationship was, I've mentioned this too, that relationship was really toxic. That relationship was really bad, you guys. There's a lot of stories with that relationship that taught me a lot and made me realize a lot of things, but that relationship was so toxic and so vile. And being cheated on was one of those things that, like, when it happened, I felt so worthless and I thought it was my fault. I now know it wasn't, obviously. So it took me a while and it took me months, and I like ruminated on this, like, this mentality of I'm not good enough. I won't ever be able to do anything that I set my mind to. I'm just not good enough. And it kept happening and happening. And then eventually, December, when I posted my first video, I had enough with myself and I was like, shut up. Like, you're not this person that you think you are. He didn't cheat on you because of you. He cheated on you because he's an awful person. And it took being out of that relationship and being out of this toxicity that was that relationship to really push me into becoming what I wanted to be, which I wanted to do YouTube videos for years and I didn't do it. So I know it sounds like, when I was telling Michael about it, he was like, man, you really do just like to stick the bird up to people constantly, don't you? I was like, yeah, that's a motivator for me. I know it sounds really silly, but hey, whatever gets a fire under your butt gets a fire under your butt, I guess. As awful as it was at the time, I think it really did catapult me into the right direction. That was the path I was supposed to take. And that's how I got into YouTube. That's what eventually pushed me to start my channel. And I know that's a really long story and really convoluted and complicated, but, you know, that's how life be sometimes, you know? I just spilt some tea. Question number 3. What is your channel about? Do you stick to one niche or do you cover a few? So basically, my channel is beauty related, and I started mainly as like beauty reviews and hauls, and then I've kind of morphed into more of a Project Pan channel. I haven't really done any hauls or reviews lately. It's mainly been Project Pans. I've thrown in a little bit more of tutorials, mainly just using up my stash. I'm kind of in that kind of realm. I also tried to bring in Harry Potter videos at a point. I've kind of backed up on those because I just don't think they were well received. So I stopped posting a lot of those, but that's basically where I was going. I wanted a little magic with my makeup, you know, because Harry Potter is such a huge part of my life. Makeup's something I really enjoy, so I wanted to combine the two. I am really scared to like pigeonhole myself, so I'm trying to like not stick to just one type of video. I kind of got discouraged not the other day, but a while ago when I was like, oh man, I'm just turning into a project pan video and everyone's expecting me to be minimalistic, but that's not how I am. I'm not interested in that part, but I've like pigeonholed myself into just a project panner. And I was like, that sucks because I want to do tutorials, but when I do tutorials, they don't get views. So like, I'm stuck. So unfortunately, I'm trying to expand slowly and add more things. I think by doing 3 videos a week, that's really helping me because I can spend more time doing videos that I actually want to do, and I can put more editing in them, spend more time producing them basically. And I hope that is well received. But yeah, basically right now I would say I'm in like the project panning community and like the regular small beauty influencer community. Question number 4. Did you always know YouTube would be a side gig, or do you ever want to be a full-time YouTuber? I personally would not mind this being a full-time gig. Do I think I'll ever get there? Who knows? It's hard to tell. There's no way of predicting. I would like for this to be a full-time gig, mainly because me and my husband, like I said, you guys know this, we're military. It would be a lot easier for me because I wouldn't have to constantly worry about getting a new job. You guys know we're moving again in a year. I've already talked about getting another job once we move wherever we're moving. But I truly enjoy doing this. I truly enjoy the work I do put into it. I enjoy the creative freedom. I'm really enjoying Twitch on top of YouTube. So I like the idea of this being my job. I don't feel stifled in any way. I'm very, very introverted, so I get my social interaction with my friends. I don't really think me not having a stable career right now is hurting me in any way. I have a degree still regardless, and I have work experience in the past, and I feel like this is just a different type of work experience. This is a self-employed kind of work experience. So for me, it's part-time right now, and I don't mind it being part-time, but I wouldn't mind being a full-time YouTuber. I enjoy it that much. I think this is a career that I could enjoy for a long time. I've never been the kind of person that looked at my life and been like, I'm gonna do one thing for my whole life. I just don't think I'm that kind of person. So to do this full time for a little bit would be amazing. Again, do I think I will ever get there? I'm not sure. If it just stays a part-time thing, I'm okay with that too, because it's fun for me. I enjoy it. You know, I get to do what I want to do. It gives me that creative license that I don't get with most things in life. Question number 5. What is your schedule like? When do you film and when do you edit? So my schedule right now has changed a lot. It used to be Mondays and Tuesdays were my dedicated filming days, and that was when I was posting 5 videos a week. So I would film 3 videos one day, 2 videos the other day, and it would flip-flop like that. And that's how I would do it. And then I would edit as many as I could in those days as well. And then I would focus on brainstorming, planning in Twitch in the later part of the week. I basically had a mental breakdown once Michael came back because it was so hard to manage my time. Before, obviously, when he was deployed, I had nothing but free time. Nothing but free time. I had like 1 social event a week, and that was easy to schedule around. Now that he's back and like all of our friends are back and like my family's back, it's crazy. 5 videos a week definitely wasn't feasible once my husband came back. It just, socially, I couldn't do it. There was too many things going on, not enough time in the day. Because like Mondays and Tuesdays, when I say I filmed on Mondays and Tuesdays, it was an all-day thing basically. I spent about, if I was doing 2 videos, it was about 3 hours. If I was doing 3 videos, it was around like 6, especially if I like wasn't as prepared and like my batteries died. I have 3 backup batteries, you guys, and sometimes depending on what I'm filming, it takes all of them in a day. So, and they take a long time to charge, so if I wasn't well prepared, things would like slow me down, so I would edit in between my batteries charging. It was a mess. But basically now I bullet journal. A lot of you guys know I bullet journal. My bullet journal, I would show it to you. I may put clips in it for you guys, but it's a mess. It's basically how I organize everything. I also have another dedicated journal just for YouTube ideas. I'm not showing you guys that one because I got some ideas in there that are a lot of fun. But I have 2 journals. So I have my bullet journal, which organizes my day, basically. Organizes when I post and when I edit, when I film. Everything goes in my bullet journal, and I have dedicated blocks usually for each of those things. They of course change throughout that. That's the basic guideline of how I organize. If you guys want a dedicated video on how I actually schedule everything and what I actually do in a day, let me know and I can do a video on that. I don't know if it's very interesting. My YouTube journal is just ideas. So I usually spend 1 day a week just brainstorming for at least 3 hours. And that's usually going through YouTube, seeing what's popular. I don't always do what's popular, but it's a good idea to like gauge what is going on YouTube. I usually look at analytics pages for YouTube and understanding understanding how the analytics work. So there's always one day a week where I spend looking at the business side of everything, learning the SEO of stuff, making sure that my tags are good, making sure my description is updated. So I have on my computer just like a note-taking app where I keep my description and I just copy and paste it almost every time I do a video, but I try to make sure everything's updated, all my links are updated. I do that about once a week just to make sure everything's good and kosher. So that's basically how I organize it. It sounds like a cluster mess, which it kind of is. It was a little more organized when my husband was deployed because it was like clockwork for me, but now it's a little bit in flux. But let me know if you guys are interested in a dedicated video on how I organize and everything, because it's a lot more to it than I think people realize. Question number 6. How do you keep your YouTube channel organized? Do you plan videos ahead or just film what you feel like? Honestly, okay, so this kind of correlates to the previous question. I'm a mixture of both. I plan out my videos ahead of time, but sometimes I don't feel like filming certain videos in a certain day, so then I just film what I feel like. Like today was actually supposed to be a different video going up, but the video, I filmed it yesterday, and it just didn't come out good. I was looking at the footage last night, and I was like, this just didn't come out the way I wanted it to, so that's why this video is going up today. So that's why I figured if I'm going down to 3 videos a week, I should put more like production time into my videos. So that's why instead of the other video, which I didn't enjoy, instead of posting that one today, this one's going up because I would rather do this one because Monica is amazing and lovely and you should go follow her. But anyways, so it's kind of a mixture of both. It's kind of what I've scheduled and what I feel like. It changes a lot. Sometimes I just don't feel like posting anything because sometimes, you know, like, why would I want to put up something that's subpar when I could just not post anything? I don't want to waste anyone's time, basically. But yeah, basically, I mean, that's one of the greater things about YouTube, though, is you can just kind of post what you feel like and film what you feel like. Like, it's up to you, you know? No. Question number 7. How do you feel about sponsored videos on YouTube? Would you ever do one on your channel? I'm okay with sponsored videos as long as they're just disclosed correctly. A lot of people misuse, they don't do that correctly, and so that's where the issue lies, is because it sounds like an ad, looks like an ad, it's probably an ad, but you didn't say it's an ad. That's a problem. So I don't have an issue with sponsored content. I think people get really bent out of shape over sponsored content when they really shouldn't. As for me, would I accept a sponsored content? Holy crap, yeah. Like, who doesn't want to get paid to do what they love? You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're all after at the end of the day. But I wouldn't work with any company that wouldn't allow me to do certain things. So I've never had a sponsored post. I have received PR and I have been asked to make videos based on things that were sent to me. Those aren't sponsored because I wasn't paid for those videos. I just received the product. And even with those companies, even though I'm not getting paid for those videos technically, I just received the product. I even tell them, I was like, I need to try it out. I need to be honest in my review, and I'm not going to recommend something that I don't like. And as long as they're okay with that, then I'm like, yeah, we're good to go. I'll receive the products and talk about it in a video for you. But otherwise, I won't work with them. I would be the same way with sponsored content, but probably even more strict, because if I'm receiving money from somebody, that's already going to, no matter what, no matter who you are, that's going to lead to some sort of bias, because you feel grateful to someone for paying you for your time. So you're like, oh man, that's awesome. They actually respect me. I want to be nice to them back. So it's immediately going to create a bias. So I would want to be able to test something longer. I would want to know more about the company just in general. So I would probably ask a lot of questions. I would probably send a lot of correspondence to make sure that like we align correctly before even agreeing to do a sponsored post. But I have no issues with it. I just think, unfortunately, a lot of people misused that and created a stigma behind sponsored content. But I inherently don't think anything's wrong with sponsored content at all. And then last question number 8. What do you think is the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time? I think the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time, that's actually a complicated question. I think scheduling is one of the hardest things. I think I guess I can only answer this for me though, because for me, one of the hardest parts is I'm overly critical of myself and I always want to do bigger and better. And I'm just really hard on myself. So for me, that's been the hardest part, because it's like I want to do bigger and better things, and sometimes it's just not feasible, you know? Like sometimes I just don't have time. Sometimes I don't have the equipment. Sometimes I just don't have enough research done on how to do certain types of style of videos and all of that. Like I always have really big ideas and then I'm not really able to do them. Like I would love to do beautiful like travel vlogs, but like I just don't have the means for that, you know? So I think that's one of the harder parts for me. But yeah, I think definitely the hardest is scheduling, motivation. I think sometimes ignoring criticism can be very hard. I think there's a lot of things that actually are difficult on YouTube that people don't really talk about. But luckily, they're not that big of a deal. Like, of course, it's not hindering me at all. They're like minor setbacks. Overall, doing YouTube part-time is totally worth it and something I'm really glad that I finally like pushed myself to do, and I've really been enjoying it. I hope I get to continue doing YouTube part-time for like a really long time. If not, do it full-time. Either one I'd be very, very happy with. So that, guys, is the entire tag. This was created again by my good friend Monica. I will have her channel linked down below, and I will tag a bunch of you guys down below in the description as well, so definitely feel free to do this tag. And again, thank you so much to Monica for asking me to join, for creating the tag, and just for being an awesome YouTube friend. So hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also make sure to hit the subscribe button before we leave, and hopefully that means I see all of you guys on Monday's video. Bye!